Hello, welcome back to the channel. It is Nat. I am playing with He Fills My Cup with Grace die set today. We're just pulling out all the pieces for my cups. That top squiggly bit, that was for steam sort of thing. We're not going to use that. And we've got the book, this little piece on the very side, this one, that is for like a bookmark. I'm not going to use my pumpkin, but I am going to play with the leaves. This is the Filigree Pocket Tag Die set. I have trimmed off the side of it for the filigree part. The top of the little tag, we're using a bit of Dusty Concord, and I'm going to also do the same with there's a top layer for the tag, like that can be slipped in for a message and that sort of thing. But I am not going over the whole thing, as you can see. Just sort of up in the corners and a little bit here and a little bit there. The same goes for this reinforcement, the whole reinforcement thing. I have peeled paint and wild honey for my leaves. Here in Australia it's autumn, so I've never actually done sort of autumny leaves colours, so that's inspired me to do that. Dusty Concord for my ribbon because I forgot it. And for the rest of my cups here, apart from the label, we're going to use a little bit of spun sugar and then sort of muck it up, mute it down a little bit. We're going to use a little bit of frayed burlap. My top of my takeaway cup, I'm like, especially this ring down the very bottom, it's going to be a lot darker, only because I want it to be defined a little bit, and everything I see, that little rim is a little bit darker, so I went with it. So I'm just dirtying up my cup here. So it has a little bit of the spun sugar and a little bit of the frayed burlap on each of the panels. This cup goes together really quickly and really easily. You could also stamp in the little label if you had some little tiny stamps, you know, you could put anything as a little message. It'd be really cute. The label I'm also going to do a bit of wild honey for. All these pieces have etched lines, so you can sort of get an idea of where you're going with everything, so it makes it easy. Wild honey for my label here. And I do go in a little bit later, and we're going to mute that down again with the frayed burlap. Well, really quickly, actually, we're going to do that. This is going to, having wild honey in the label, or on the label, I should say, is going to bring in, like, tee it up with the leaves. So it's a continuation of the flow of the card. And it's just easier on the eye to have that little bit. This is the other card, so I have two, or cups. I have two, and I was just adding a little bit of the frayed burlap. My book here, I'm doing down through the center of the scripty paper, the very bottom here there on the bottom of the actual book. And what I'm going to do is bend my cardstock to form a little bird, like when we draw birds when we're younger. I have a little bit of foam down through the center, so it's going to be, the center of each page is going to be raised up. The spine and the edges are going to be flat. It is a very low profile foam tape. This means it's still, if you had it a really high, it's not going to sit properly on the page. If you want that, that's fine. But this is just going to give it a little bit of a depth to it. So I have the Blooming Flourish background. I have punched out basically the flowers in it and left all the filigrees. So look at your dies and sort of see. I do have the very top corner, you can see there's a couple of leaves, they fell out. No stress, not worrying about that. I have a little bit of vellum just to make a little bit of difference on my card, just to break it up. A little bit of glue. I'm just going to glue him down, and I'm just eyeballing him to be roughly where I want it to be. I have used my cardstock a little bit for that. I am a little bit low in the screen. I do apologize. I get carried away, I think, like so many of us. So I have raised that top piece of my tag. I've raised it up with a bit of foam, and we've just adhered the rest flat. One of our coffee cups is glued flat, and one of them is going to have a little bit of dimension, this one here. And the book is pretty much going to be all glued flat. But because the book goes off the side, I am actually going to raise up. Oh, we're just going to put the ribbon on the book. And it's just tucked in the back, and I'm just leaving it with just a little bit of glue on the bottom and halfway through. So I have a little bit of glue on one side. I have one piece of foam, but I've realized afterwards that that is not going to be enough. So I'm going to pull that off and add another piece of foam on the right hand side. So at this point, we started doing embellishments because I forgot about my leaves. So I'm going to stick a couple of little bits of sequins and confetti here, there, and everywhere. We're going to go over it with a little bit of Wink of Stella just on the coffee mugs. It's hard to see, but when I do after I do the wild honey, go over the wild honey, I actually have a scrap piece of paper. You sort of see that part. A scrap piece of cardstock actually, and I brush it off because I don't particularly want to ruin my coffee mug or the takeaway cup, like the top of it. I don't want to scratch it off, wipe it off. I don't want to bring that orange or the wild honey up into the lid. Then I remembered my leaves, so we're going to dot them around. And as I said, this is going to bring the orange from our cups all together. Like, I can't think of the word, but the flow of the card. And sometimes if you have one color of something, it can stand out. So this is going to bring it all together, tie it all together. Tie the design together. I think that's sort of pretty much the word. So I'm just going to scatter those around, and I am only using some glue. So I've got a couple that are tucked in underneath my book, a couple that are on top of another one, which is fine. Now this is American card die, so I am actually going to trim my card base down a bee's knees, which is going to make it basically, it's a little bit short of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, a little bit short. And just rub that mark off. So that's pretty much my card. I will leave a link down below over to all the products, and you can check out the website for more goodies using these dies. That's it for me today. I hope you're well. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. Here's a couple of more videos for you to watch. I hope you're having a great day, and stay healthy and have a good week. Take care. Bye.